Today, for the very first time, I'm checking out a band I have never heard before. This is Psycroptic with, I forgot it already, The Pulse of Annihilation. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another album review / reaction here on the channel. This is another Chris Schoenberg album that we're doing because very similar to when we did Archspire, I was like, hey, I've heard you talk about Archspire. They're coming out with something new. Let's do Archspire. You're like, sure. And so you've mentioned Psycroptic to me in the past, multiple times, as being a band you really like and albums that you really liked. And I believe you've said they produced pretty good, sound good, right? Production-wise? Yeah. And so when I found out that they were coming out with a new album, which maybe even you're the one that told me about it, I was like, hey, if we want to do a reaction. Okay, so in that case then, I saw it somehow, came across it, and was like, hey, new Psycroptic album, do you want to do it? You're like, sure. And that's why we're here. So this is not the kind of thing I would normally do a reaction to. This is the kind of thing that I would probably click play on and listen to like 10, 15 seconds of, and then probably move on from, but maybe not, who knows? So yeah, this is going to be fun. When we did the Archspire reaction, we had a lot of people saying, hey, you need to do more like really intense metal stuff, like more, I can't remember what they said, what they called it, brutal, more like brutal metal stuff. And a lot of people mentioned Cattle Decapitation, first of all, which you have also mentioned to me as being really great production. I think we discovered when we were doing Archspire that the same guy that produced the Archspire album has also done a bunch of the Cattle Decapitation albums.
I don't like all of them. What was his name?
I don't recall. I just know it was in the Archspire, we were looking at the credits for the Archspire album. So I don't know if that's the same guy that's done Psycroptic or if these guys do this stuff themselves. I will say I sat down a couple hours ago while I was kind of getting ready for this, and I was looking up information about this band online, and I couldn't come across a ton of it. You know, they have. Do you want to guess how many followers they have on Spotify, Chris?
Psycroptic?
Yeah, Psycroptic.
Spotify? Mm-hmm. Tell me how many another big band has.
Like what? Like Archspire?
No, that would make it too easy. Tell me what Cannibal Corpse is.
Cannibal Corpse. Wow.
You don't know about Cannibal Corpse?
No, I know who Cannibal Corpse is. I remember I turned their album covers backwards at Hastings all the time, and people would go there and intentionally put them in the front of the pocket. Okay, so you think that the Psycroptic is similar to Cannibal Corpse in terms of followers?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
I just didn't want to give. I don't want you to give me Metallica because that's meaningless.
Right. Okay. So Cannibal.
And if you gave me Archspire, it's probably the same as Arch.
I think Archspire's more, a little bit more. Because remember, we did Archspire.
If Archspire is 10, I bet Psycroptic is 5 or 6.
5 or 6 what?
Like,
on a scale of
units.
10 to... Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so interesting to me, Cannibal Corpse, who I know is a band been around for a long time, well respected in the industry, and I know Corpse Grinder, what's the guy's name? Corpse Grinder. Jeremy Corpse Grinder? George Corpse Grinder. Total badass of a human being, awesome heart of a teddy bear, right? I've seen the memes with him, right?
Yes.
They have, and I love this for them, 566,645 monthly listeners. So there's a 666 in there, which I think is awesome.
Wait, but it was 500,000 you said?
500,000, yep. 566,000.
I'm going to bet Psycroptic is 27,000.
Ooh, that's a good guess. I thought you were going to guess way over, so I'm proud of you, Chris. They have 86,000. Almost 87,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and so go look up Archspire, please.
Archspire, so I think, has around...
has to be 150,000?
Okay, maybe I'm really wrong. I thought Archspire had more. Oh, no, 167. 167, exactly.
And also this, too. But...
Yes. But not 3 6s in there, which is just badass for Corpse Grinder.
Okay.
It's stupid, but I love it. So, okay. So then would you say Psycroptic is a similar sort of band to Archspire then?
Yes.
Okay.
And as we do this channel more, and I know that I've said this.
Yeah, you're learning a lot more about me. my jargon, my personal jargon.
But I'm learning a lot about myself. This mostly came from doing those first few Metallica records.
Gotcha.
I'm not really a super fan of anything. I guess there might be a few niche things that I really know a lot about. And to say that, like, I really like Psycroptic's music. I have listened to the last 2 albums that came out before this many times. I've listened to everything that's come out, at least a little bit. I've seen them play twice, which endeared me to them even more.
Now, did you go to see them specifically, or were they playing with somebody else?
Yes, no, I went to see them specifically.
Okay.
And in fact, I have to think about this. They played in this real small club in Council Bluffs. It was a promotion disaster. It was a concert promoter disaster because I don't think they were supposed to play at the place that they did. And something happened and they ended up playing, but it was awesome. Like that bar, it was called a different thing at the time, but 15 years ago, the metalcore band that I was in used to play there occasionally. And like, I didn't even realize that because it called something else and I'd never been there outside of playing there. But like, it was just this tiny little bar. It was like maybe a 200 capacity bar. Other bands did play that night. It was Decrepit Birth and I might think of the other one, I might not. But that was really cool. And then the other time that I saw them, they were opening up that tour that I was talking about in the small bar. They were the headliner. I think that might have, if I recall correctly, that might have been their first time in America, or at least the first time headlining in America.
Okay.
These guys are from Tasmania.
Yeah, I saw that. They're listed as Australia/Tasmania.
If that is not the craziest freaking thing, because you're going to hear these guys play and it's going to blow your mind. How do you... nobody lives on Tasmania. There's like 6 people there, and
they're
4
all
of them,
in this band.
4 or 5 of them are in this band. But that, what were we even talking about? Anyway, I don't get deep nerdy into stuff anymore. Maybe it's just because I'm old. Like I kind of know these guys' names. I've talked to their singer before. I bought maybe this shirt from him. I'm sure I did.
But that's awesome.
Like, so I'm not like an expert. Anyway,
that's right. You don't have to be an expert.
The thing that I'm not an expert on is tech death.
Oh, that's right.
I know that there are some people that like only listen to tech death. And when people ask me about tech death, I like it, of course. And like to me right now, the only 2 tech death bands that I'm like really aware of that I would definitely call that is Psycroptic and Archspire.
Okay.
And then I always forget this, and this is not for you, Patrick. This is for the listeners. But then always when you read things about tech death, everybody talks about Necrophagist. And like, of course, Necrophagist is a tech death band, but it just happened so long ago that I don't really even think about them. Like, because, right, I think, hold on.
So is Cattle Decapitation not a tech death band?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. I just thought since people were mentioning them in the Archspire video that they were similar. So
I would not say that they are, again, and like I know a lot more about Psycroptic than I do about Cattle Decap.
Sure.
But yeah, the last studio album, according to Wikipedia, I'm not like the biggest
necrophagia.
Necrophagist. Yeah, Epitaph. That's the one that I'm thinking of. That came out in 2004.
Oh,
and
okay.
Like, that's kind of hard for me to tie
20 years ago.
Modern
a band that's doing their stuff now. Yeah, gotcha.
Thing. But anyway, Psycroptic is awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for this because I was very pleasantly surprised with Archspire. If you remember in that video, one of the things that I said at the beginning was we had listened to that Archspire single, and I was like, oh, this is crazy and awesome, and I love the like tongue-in-cheek nature of it and the self-awareness of them and everything, and the video was hilarious too. And and the speed of it and his vocals were like insane. So it was like this package of onslaught, right? And I said at the time in that video, which we have a video for the single and we have a video of the whole album as well on the channel here. But I said in the single video, I was like, I don't know how I would do listening to a full album of this. And then when we did listen to the full Archspire album, now maybe it had to do with the fact that we paused between the songs and talked about them, but like I had no problem getting through it. And I've actually listened to that album, not in its entirety, but I've actually put that album on and listened to it multiple times. The Archspire album, Too Fast to Die. I put that one on multiple times since we did that, and I still really enjoy it. So I'm curious about this. So my main question for this is Psycroptic more of a serious band, or do they still have that sort of like self-aware, we're a little bit ridiculous gene in them, like Archspire does?
You want me to tell you that now?
Nah, we can wait and see. We can wait and see if I pick up on it.
No, I want to, because I want you to like this.
Okay.
I don't think I've listened to anything from this. Maybe I listened to one of the singles. I'm seeing that they released 2. I might have listened to one of them.
Okay.
I don't really remember. I didn't like sit down and listen to it intently for sure. Not like we're about to. I got into these guys probably because my brother showed them to me. That would make the most sense. And I was blown away by the music. I really, really liked it. And then when I went and saw them for the first time at that tiny little bar, part of the reason that I went to go is I wanted to see if people could really play like this live. I wanted to see if tech death was real.
Right.
That was my fact-finding mission. Tech death is in fact real. You might not hear the silliness in the music, but I can assure you that these guys do not take themselves too seriously.
Okay.
They're very good at what they do.
Okay.
Like that show especially, it was just so much freaking fun. Their front man, whose name is escaping me right now, might be Jason. Is that right? Oh my God, just go look it up, Chris.
Well, while you're looking that up, I will say it's interesting because I saw the Archspire music video first. So like I had an image of the guys in my band, or I'm sorry, of the image of the band in my head. And then when we did, and I looked at the artwork for the album and everything associated with it, I was like, oh, this looks serious. Like it looks like it's being presented to you as being serious, but it's not if you know it. And then like the tour posters and everything are like all these cartoons with like, you know, unicorns and stuff on them and everything. So like that way they're also saying we're goofy, but the artwork for Archspire's albums was very serious. And I was surprised to see that when I saw it. So, you know, it could be the same kind of thing here. And I understand the idea that when you're in a metal band, that you can play metal in a way that is kind of like, haha, you know, like, wink, wink, nod, nod. And so like, I don't know if I'll pick up on all that stuff, but if that's the kind of thing they're doing, I think you can still pick up on the general vibe, you know? For
sure. And like their singer, whose name is Jason, this band has been around since 1999.
I saw that.
That's shocking. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But like, he is very charming and they all seem like they're having
a blast,
an unbelievably good time.
That's awesome.
Joe Haley, the guitar player, I mean, has to just stand still and play. But they all seem, and at that show, I like shook Joe's hand and said it was wonderful to watch him play. But
that's awesome.
He kind of just has to stand there.
Yeah. Well, and it's to me, you know, we don't do videos on the channel that much, but I talk to you every now and then, you know, just in life. And I feel like Psycroptic is one of those bands that you bring up more than almost any other band, I would say. Because like generally when we're talking about music, we're talking about your class that you teach at the college that you work at. And so you'll bring up like, you talked to me several times about, what was it? That rapper dude. He had that Igor album.
Chance the Rapper?
Chance the Rapper.
No, Tyler the Creator.
Tyler the Creator, yes. Yeah, we'll talk about stuff like that.
Old guys.
Yeah, but we'll talk about like whatever, Taylor Swift or whatever happens to be the conversation. But when you bring up metal, I feel like you bring up Psycroptic quite a bit. So So to me, it's like, okay, this is like one of Chris's seminal metal bands that he enjoys still. Because I feel like it's much easier for us here on the channel to joke about how you hate everything. And so it's fun to be like, here's a band that Chris likes.
Well, and part of the reason for that is because I haven't liked these guys since I was 17. It's been in the last, it was probably, I bet my brother showed me As the Kingdom Drowns, which I'm looking at their discography now. It looks like it came out in 2018. I bet it was probably around then when my brother's like, hey, I think you would really like this. You should listen to this. And so, like, for me, being an old guy, 8 years ago, that's not that long ago. It's not like the first time I heard Metallica.
Exactly right. You have a different relationship with them than you would with the band you heard growing up. I will say their album covers, while we're just I'm looking at their discography as well right now, which it does look like their first album came out in 2000s. That's crazy. That's crazy. Maybe we should go listen to one song from that, because I'll bet it sounds like ass compared to this new stuff. But their last 3 albums look like they all have clearly the same artist on them, and I love the style of the art. The dude looks like he's made out of like a pile of sand and dirt type of thing.
I mean, but that had to been. I mean, that was painted on a canvas with paint, right?
I don't know. I would assume.
Sure think so.
I would assume, but I don't know, because
it is cool. And I like the last one. I've listened to Divine Council probably the most. Their last record that came out.
Yeah.
Come on our Discord if you're a metal elitist.
Oh yeah, I should mention that we have links for everything in the description. And come to our Discord. We have a lot of metal people there, but we're not just a metal channel. Contrary to this, I would love to see other bands that are doing 21 Pilots, Evanescence, and Psycroptic reactions simultaneously. Show me those channels.
Charismatic Voice probably does it.
Yeah, she does, but she's like the mother of us all, right? She is the godmother of reaction content. So not that she's old, because she's not. She's, I think, the same age we are, actually. But
she's actually good at it.
She's phenomenal, and
hey,
she's also a professional
doing,
singer.
Just stop this. Just go look at the Charismatic Voice.
Yeah. Yep.
Watch the one where she does Cemetery Gates. Like, that's like. She won't say bad things about your favorite band. We will.
Oh, we definitely will. And I will say bad things about this band if there's anything bad to say. So let's get into it.
Anyway, yeah, let's get into it. Sorry.
Ashes of a New Dawn is track 1. Oh, let me look at the lengths real quick. So we have 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 4.5, 3.5, 6:44 is track 5. So does that mean I'm just looking at the rest of them, 4, 3.5, 4. So a 6:44 is like considerably longer than the rest of those. Do we think that's going to have a minute-long acoustic guitar intro?
It's going to have, and it's right in the middle of it. It's dead center.
Yeah.
There's 9 tracks and that one's 5.
Yeah.
That would be my prediction, is that there will be a slow, clean part for a long part of that track.
Yeah. And hey, I'm all here for that.
Patrick's never even heard the band.
I literally have never, unless you played one of these songs in our video that we did for our music that like represents us or whatever.
Nope.
Then I don't think I've ever heard a Psycroptic
I don't think I've ever showed this to you.
Yeah, anyway. You just mentioned them. Okay, so this is my first ever Psycroptic song and Psycroptic album. We're starting off with track 1, Ashes of a New Dawn, in 3, 2, 1.
Not a very dramatic opener.
No.
Guitars sound great.
It does. I'm not getting a super wide feeling right now, and that's fine.
No, it's starting to come, though. That bass is really big.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Do you think that's one take of his voice, or is he doing a high and a low?
I wasn't listening, but I'll listen now. Well, that's two.
But I mean, speaking of charismatic voice, watching those videos she's done about people's throats and stuff, like, you can have multi-tonal screaming.
Yeah. Those are, I'm pretty sure that's two takes.
Oh, okay, that's what I was leaning toward.
That's cool. Or multiple. That was two, I think.
Yeah, because when he's doing the high, there's also a low, and then he does a low, and it's low and a low.
That's definitely multiple takes.
Now, the voice is way more... Like, one of the things that impressed me about Archspire was how present the voice was. This mix is not like that.
No. Without looking anything up, tell me who mixed this record.
Me?
Yeah, not you don't have to get the person's name, but tell me who did it.
To Madsen.
What?
To Madsen. This sounds like something he produced.
Oh.
Why? Am I supposed to know some?
No, it's the guitar player from the band.
Oh, the guitar player. I see what you mean. Because the guitars are the most obvious thing. Oh. Now
it sounds really good, but like it also sounds like the guitar player mixed it.
Hold on, now I'm going to look and see if To Madsen mixed this. It just says studio producer Joseph Haley.
Yeah, that's the guitar player.
The guitar player, yeah. That's all it says. On Spotify, at least. Okay.
That's all it says on Tidal. I bet he mixed it.
Strings or organ or something in there? We'll pause it.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting there. So first thought, his voice is like vicious. Like it is. That's why I was questioning whether we thought it was one take or two take, because like it is guttural. Like it is. Oh, guttural is not the right word. There's different styles of metal vocals, and his is like a natural. It's so thick. Like there's so many, like, I was saying the same thing about Des Fefara when I did the reaction to the most recent Devil Driver album, which, did you listen to that yet, by the way? Yeah, you should listen to it. I'm telling you, you should. But anyway, Dez's voice just is like thicker than most people's voices. Like, I feel like Des Fafara is like one of the only voices I've literally ever heard that can like match the intensity of whatever the music is doing, no matter what. Like, obviously there's people who like squeal like animals and stuff, and there's crazy vocalists who do crazy stuff, but I find very few vocalists actually like live up to the intensity of the music. And this guy has that same feeling. I get the same feeling from his voice, like super, super gravelly, just like gargly, but not to the point of sounding phlegmy, if you know what I mean. Because there are some metal bands, I hate phlegmy sounding like metal vocalists. This guy doesn't sound like that. So however they were doing his vocals with the treatment and everything, I think they were a little low in the mix. But other than that being my very first time ever hearing him, I was super like, wow, dude is heavy as heck. Super heavy. Then I was a little surprised. The guitars, I don't know if this is probably not the correct way to say this, but they seemed less distorted or overdriven or fuzzy than I thought that they were going to be. Like, they were you could hear what was happening. The whole mix has a bit of like a mid-ranginess to it, but I wouldn't say it's woofy. But it's not pushing the super highs, but it's also not like cavernously like booming lows. It's not these sub frequencies everywhere. The kick and the snare didn't sound super manufactured. You know, they sounded like they could have been actual samples that they recorded. I don't know if
I think they're real.
You think so? Okay. I was leaning that way, especially with the snare. The snare sounded like a real snare to me in a real place. But they're not like huge boomy things. Like, they sound like real. It sounds like it's all grounded in a real place. Whereas I do feel like Archspire was a bit more polished. You know what I mean? Like, in that regard, like Archspire is definitely more like pieced together intentionally, using post-processing stuff. Whereas this seems a bit more natural. But I was surprised that the guitars didn't sound more white noisy, I guess.
Okay.
Like, I thought that they were going to be more, I don't know I don't even know how.
Distorted.
Yeah, more distorted. And it just seemed like they turned the knob down a little bit, and that gave it way more definition, which I'm very happy with that. I thought everything sounded pretty good.
And
so,
yeah. No, I do too. But I mean, I don't mean this. I don't mean this bad, because you can also say the same thing bad.
Yeah.
It does sound like it was mixed by the guitar player. Like, obviously with this kind of thing, like, the drums are also very important, but it's guitar, and then drums, and then everything else
after that. Right.
Is what matters. I mean, the bass is there and it's doing its job, and maybe I even heard a couple clanky notes, which is a good thing. Like good clanky, but the guitars are huge and they are very loud. Like, I don't think that I would have. I don't think I would have mixed that like that.
No?
I think it sounds good. I think that I'm just saying that I would have made different choices just because, like, I think I would have balanced out the drums and the guitar a little bit, and the vocals do seem a little bit lower. But like, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
Right. And we'll
like,
see. That was just the first track.
It was the first song. I will say, if we're, people talk about us talking over the songs all the time.
Yeah.
But if this is nominally an audio podcast, like, we're hearing the first song of a record, like, I have to talk about what it sounds like.
Oh, for sure. And we always do that. And I feel like that's why people complain, because inherently we do talk over the first two songs generally a little bit more. And then, because I have to explain what I'm hearing, because I'm hearing it for the first time, then after that we settle into the rhythm of listening more and getting more into what the songs are actually trying to do, or at least that's what it is for me. So yeah. So try not to be too scared away.
That first, the intro to that song, I thought was
mediocre.
I was expecting something a little bit more dramatic.
Yeah.
That first riff that came in, that is like the most psychroptic-y psychroptic that ever psychroptic. But that whatever thing, you're gonna hear that a lot more.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, I was focusing on the vocals a lot during most of that, I would say. And it wasn't until we mentioned the guitars. And then at the beginning, I mentioned not feeling as wide as it was, but then you were right. When the lower and low frequency stuff came in, it felt wider. And then there were some interesting bass notes at the very, very, very beginning when the main riff kind of started. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what they're actually doing on the sides there. But I just have to listen to it more. We'll talk about it more when we listen to the next song. So let's do that. So this seems like it's the big single, or was the first one they released. This one has twice as many plays as almost everything else on the album. So this is track 2, Gathering a Venomous Herd, with 130,000 plays on Spotify. The previous track had 70,000. Everything else on the album has less than 40,000, with the exception of the next song, which has 43, and then track 7, which looks like it must have been the second single, which is No Blade of Grass. That has 80,000.
Yeah, that was the second.
So, yeah. Okay, so this is track 2, Gathering a Venomous Herd, in 3, 2, 1.
That's a great opening.
Yes.
The result is
Totally different vocals than the first song. You're gonna hate this. He sounds just like Wayne Static from Static X.
I was trying to put my finger on.
I'm sorry, I just ruined Psycroptic for you.
It's fine. I don't have no problem with
Dude, Wayne
X.
Static was badass, so... Okay. Ooh, there's low vocal with a high vocal.
Yeah, there's really a lot of vocal production.
Yeah, that was double tracked, spread wide. Yeah.
Oh, and that was all of it.
Cymbals sound really nice.
They do.
Yeah.
Everything just fits so nice in the mix.
I do think his voice is a little low in the mix, but it's not too low at all. And if it was louder, I don't know if it needs to be louder, if that makes sense.
The what?
The vocals.
Oh. The guitar playing is just insane.
Yeah. Does this band do solos?
No.
That's fun.
You can't ask me that.
All right, we'll pause.
I'll sing the song.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That one felt okay, so much like
that could have been the opener.
I kind of agree. That was
I think the vocals were more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
For the reasons that you were talking about, and maybe I'm only noticing that because you said it. But on the Ashes of the New Dawn, but like the beginning of that would have been a much more dramatic opening to a record.
I agree, especially the way it started with just so okay. First impression of this band, I have to say, is that for me, this is not as interesting as Archspire at all. Like, Archspire is way more interesting to me. Now, if you remember, with Archspire, every single song felt like they were pushing it as hard as they could, as far as they could possibly go. And then in the middle of every song, there was a pause where it was like, oh. And they had some pretty guitar stuff over the top of it with some interesting, like, cool guitar melodic stuff. And then they'd always come back for the second half of the song, balls to the wall again. This, so far, these first two songs not having that, and then also not having a solo section, makes it feel to me like there's less from, like, I'm kind of like searching in the dark for what to grab onto with this, because I am not a guitar player. And this to me seems like you were saying, guitar player band. Like,
oh, it is.
Because the guitars, the moment that song started, they were literally never anything other than like the whole but like doing many variations of that. But it was like the exact, it was 16th notes or 32nd notes or however you'd count that out, the entirety of the song. The entirety.
Pretty much. I was kind of thinking about that. especially now that we talked about Archspire first. But Archspire is just as extreme as you can be on everything, and like from one end to the other, and with the crazy fast vocals and the clean parts in almost every song, if not every song. And not to compare, but the thing that Psycroptic is doing is a little bit more subtle, because when Archspire is going fast, like there are very few moments where it's like human guitar playing, or like it is just so intense the entire time. And what Psycroptic is doing, what Joe Haley is doing, like it is really fast the whole time, but there are parts that, and I mean this in a loving way, that are like a little bit more dumb metal, and like that part will, like a little riff part will repeat 3 or 4 times, and then you hear at the end, but it's just bet, and like, I mean, I know he's playing more than just bet,
right?
Like the general idea of the riff is bet, and it's supposed to be kind of driving, where Archspire doesn't really do the driving thing.
No, but also
like that.
But also it's almost hard with Archspire because the vocalist is so insane that it's like when he's doing his thing, like you can't, it's like an onslaught of something that you can't look around that to the background. No. You know what I mean? And this doesn't have that. So this is more of a complete package, I would say, whereas Archspire is more like shocking. Like it'd be way funner to show someone who doesn't listen to metal Archspire than it would to show them this.
Yes.
Because this is more of like a complete solid package that's more consistent, I would say. And again, this is just the first 2 songs I've ever heard. But the things that were similar on those 2 songs are telling me that. And so, yeah. So for me, first impression, I feel like there's less here for me to grab onto. And then also, I haven't mentioned this yet in this video. So for people who are unaware, who don't follow the channel or aren't on our Discord in our community, I am a stickler for structure. And so I like to know when we're in the chorus of a song. I like to know when we're in the bridge of a song. And with this type of thing, and Archspire was the same way kind of, but I feel like they did things vocally to kind of let you know, which they did vocal things in this song too, right? When the vocals got wide and stuff. Was that the first track? I think that was this track, the one we just listened to.
Yes.
So they did things to help separate it, but it's a little bit harder because musically it wasn't changing that much to my ear.
No,
it was pretty consistent. So,
and like one of the things that we talked about in the Archspire video is that Archspire uses melodic guitar lines
behind
hooks.
Yes.
A lot to let you know that. And Psycroptic, I don't think really does that.
Yeah, not in these 2 songs at all. Everything we've heard so far, I feel like could be portrayed live without having overdubs or anything like that. So, which is cool. But it's just not. It's harder for me to find something to grasp onto. So I have to just kind of adjust my way of thinking here to like let the whole thing wash over me and try to take in what I'm taking in, rather than like search through the mix to find the thing. Or maybe it's the opposite, and I do need to search through the mix to find the thing, rather than having something sticking out to me as being obviously incredible, if that makes sense. So,
yes.
Okay, let's move on to track 3. This is A Sword of Me in 3, 2, 1. Okay, awesome.
Is that bing, bing, bong?
Nah. A lot of guitars in here. Kind of has a Middle Eastern kind of vibe to it a bit.
Or piratey?
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay.
This would have also been a great opener to the album.
Yes. Again, totally different vocals. This is like a hardcore yell type thing. Wow.
Right, this is that riff thing I was talking about.
Okay. Is this thrashier, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just like a thrash riff.
Yeah. Ooh, the timing of that hi-hat hit. Weird.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I feel like the drums are doing more interesting stuff on this song. Also, I will say I cannot understand what he's saying.
Oh, not a single word.
Which is fine, but it's interesting. Oh, In the Face of Fear. I got that one. I'm pretty good with metal vocals usually, so...
He sounds like Randy Blythe there for a second. That's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Like, that's pretty Randy-esque.
So, Lamb of God.
Yes. He's an incredibly talented vocalist. Everybody in this band is like...
You know, we never did a reaction to that Lamb of God album that came out this year.
Oh, we just did the single?
Yeah, we just did the single. You really liked that single a lot.
I did.
There's strings and stuff in the back. There was.
I was like, ooh.
No, that was me. I just did that.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to... There's definitely some stuff in the background. It's pretty... Yeah. To me, it feels like we're still in the first verse. Have we left the first verse ever? I don't... And I look down and this song's over. I'm like, what the hell?
That's a cool guitar, that brown thing in there. That's cool.
Okay, we'll pause it again. Okay. There, I really felt the structureless structure of that one because that was, yeah, there was nothing repeating there that I could tell at all. So...
I thought it went by very fast.
It did. That's yes.
When you said I think we're still in the first verse, and I knew what you meant. But then I looked up and I saw that we were almost done with a 4.5-minute song, and I'm like, oh,
yes, that's what I meant. Yes, I was like, what the heck? So okay, yeah, that was way more interesting sonically to me than the first two tracks.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would say I liked it more than the second one. Because that one I feel like the vocals were doing more interesting stuff. Whereas that one to me, well, I don't know, it was pretty cool. I like the pirate thing you mentioned at the beginning, and then it kind of kept that vibe the whole time. You know, I feel like the drums for me were the thing to listen to in that song. And that was kind of one of the reasons it flew by for me, because I was like, it changes like every 4 bars to something kind of different, you know? So it's like, if you focus on something like one element like that, it's harder to follow along with what the song's doing, I guess. But it's also makes it go faster.
That's why you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I think that because I don't know, somewhere in the first half, I think it was in the first half of the song, that there was a break that could have been a solo break, and it was just a guitar riff thing. Or that's what I was listening to. I think I might like that. I think in general I like that better. I do like guitar solos, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
I do. But like, I think if you had to make a choice in like almost any situation, should we play a guitar solo here? Or should we just like play a sweet riff 4 times through? Like, you should probably just play the sweet riff 4 times through. Like, I think most of the time that's the best decision.
See, for me, not being a guitar guy, I'm looking for that solo to tell me that we're doing something different in the song. You know, like that is one thing that's hard for me with this. Like it's really hard for me to tell where we're ever supposed to. And I understand that not all music is, you're not supposed to follow it like a roadmap. I get that. That's fine. I don't generally listen to music like that too much. And when I do, it's generally like more progressive style music, which that progressive music is different than this in that when the song changes to something, it pretty vastly changes, and then it'll stay whatever it's doing for like a minute or two and then change to something completely different again. You know, whereas this just feels like that whole song just felt, like I said, like verse 1. You know, like I never really felt it move on from anything. It just was there the whole time. So, but I think that's just that's me not really getting or vibing with what they're doing, you know, so that's a me thing, not them. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong or that they should write their songs differently. I'm just saying for me personally, that's not, it's harder for me to find a ton of enjoyment from this, you know, so I'm just finding myself appreciating what they're doing. But at the same time, I'm like, there's nothing really keeping me, like, would I listen to that again for really any reason? I don't think so. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like the Archspire thing, I'm like, have fun. That's like, have fun, right? But this is not, I see why it's the same kind of thing, tech death or whatever what you called it, but it's not as fun or interesting to me. And I know it's not fair to compare them to the world's fastest metal band, but I mean, hey, when you're the second fastest metal band or whatever, you gotta, you know, second place is the first loser. So, okay, let's go on to track 4, No Time for the Weak. In 3, 2, 1. That was cool.
Oh, yeah. Those cymbal hits are weird in this. They're shocking. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. This one gives them a bit of time to rest their fingers. I really like the double bass stuff. Oh, whoa. Boy, the bass, if you focus on the bass, it's interesting to try to hear. Yep, again with just the riff. No solo, just the cool riff. I don't know, to me, I don't feel like that riff was any more special or interesting than the rest of the riffs in the song, so it's like...
No, but it's all that there is right there.
Right,
so, like,
so to me it feels like the song's missing something there. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. There's the bass.
Some bass there by itself.
Yeah. Interesting. I feel like the end of that song, we'll pause it. The end of that song was the mirror of the front of that song, which I know kind of happens a lot in music, where the intro song is the same as the outro, but it really felt like that's what they did there, which was kind of interesting. And it's hard for me to even say that because it's so hard for me to differentiate. You know what I realized there? I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but you know when a band or a heavy band is playing and they've got this like awesome groovy riff that's like, you know, they're just like chugging away or whatever at this groovy riff, and it's a 4-bar riff that like goes 4 bars, then 4 bars, and then it probably repeats those 8 bars again. You know what I mean? At the end of the last measure, the last bar, the last measure, the last half of the last measure is always like some sort of like a thing to like a transition thing or a fill. Yeah. This is like a band that just fills for the whole song. It's just like it's a constant fill the entire time.
See, I don't know though. Like, I think that in a way, that's interesting that you're saying these things, and it's making me listen more carefully. Mm-hmm. Because I think that with this band, like Archspire, but since these are 2 tech death things that you know about, and
the only 2
in front of my mind right now, I think that Psycroptic does less of that.
Wait, right? It's not necessarily the deedly dee part, you know. It's just constant. And I will say in that song, I felt like there was more breaks, and the drums especially to me are what's the only thing I have to really go off of in terms of, okay, we're in a new section of the song is the drums, unless the guitars are holding notes out, which is pretty rare. But in that song, there was a section in there where they were just holding notes out for like
there have been in a couple other ones too.
Yeah.
Where you hold the power chord for a second.
Yeah. But the drums really, like at the beginning and at the end, it was like blast beat, right? And then it switched up, and I like it when what I'm noticing more, and actually I was noticing it with I did a reaction to a Megadeth album earlier today. I listened to Euthanasia for the first time, and what I'm kind of noticing is, and I literally never thought about this until we started listening to Metallica. And so this is a thing I've been thinking about a lot now for the last couple of years. But the idea of, does your drum beat, are the drums playing the same thing that the guitars are? Or are the drums doing their own thing that the guitars are sitting on top of? And it's really interesting. And this is a super basic musical thing here. But like, I was listening to Megadeth this morning, and it was like almost every riff, the kick drum was playing with, when there's a downstroke or the riff part of the riff, the chug of the riff, that's what the drums are doing for the most part. Mm-hmm. But with Metallica, especially at a certain point, Lars is just going pff, 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 right? And then the guitars, James is doing what he's doing. And to me, it feels so much more groovy and vibey when the guitars and the drums are sort of like separate elements doing their own thing in service of the song, rather than having them doing the same thing. Does that make sense? I'm not saying I prefer one over the other.
No, but
and again, I mean, this is very basic. We're talking about,
and I think that, I mean, if you're talking about like pop music, That's not an option. The drums playing the same thing as the guitar, the synthesizer is because there's not a riff.
Right. So I am only thinking of it in context
when
of
you
metal.
get into and like there's probably other examples, but metal is, I mean, the one that I would be aware of. But
well, sure,
it's probably the easiest thing. But those are your two choices. Those are the two choices when you're playing drums to a metal riff.
Right.
Are you going to follow the thing, or are you not? Like those.
Right. Yes.
And I think that both are great.
Yeah, you think every song is a mixture of both, I think.
Are you referencing, because James Hetfield said like that almost exact thing about Lars Ulrich in an
No,
interview once.
I don't know any Metallica interviews or anything.
I didn't think that you did, but that's funny that you bring that up because whatever, not like Metallica does interviews all the time, but at some point, I forget when it was, the interviewer asked James about Lars. And Lars said that. He said a lot of guys just like follow the riffs. Mm-hmm. And Lars never does. And I think he meant it positively, because you could take that either way. So what are you saying that Psycroptic does then?
Psycroptic, a lot of the time, the drums do follow the riffs. However, because he's changing what he's doing with the drums, like for me, I noticed that specifically in that song when he was doing the fast double bass. Like he's doing the fast double bass that was fast. It was double the speed of the riff. You know, he was going, and the riff is going, he was going. So like, to me, it's more interesting to me. This is a very generalized statement. I feel like it's more interesting to listen to metal when the drums and the guitars are doing different things. And the reasoning for that...
No, but the correct answer to that is that you want to hear both.
Correct. Yes. Well, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Yes. Not just playing along with the riff all the time. I think you have to play along with the riff during certain parts.
Is it the changes in the music that make it interesting?
I was literally just going to say that exact sentence. The changes in the music that make it interesting. But like, I feel like it makes both the riff and the drums stand out in different ways when the part is changed up. And it's cooler to me to hear a consistent riff with changing drum parts rather than having a just constantly changing and morphing guitar part. Because my brain doesn't follow it that fast, I guess. But the drums, I can comprehend what's happening. And I don't know. This is a very basic thing. I'm just like, I don't know. I've wanted to bring that up and talk to you about that for a long time because it makes me think of Metallica. And like I said, it was something I wasn't aware of until we started doing Metallica. And I started listening to Lars just doing a very simple beat, but it doesn't make the song feel less technical or anything like that. It just feels like the guitars are sitting over the top of a more basic structure, and it allows the guitars to feel more vibey and groovy, in my opinion. Now, this is too fast, I think, to feel groovy to me ever. That this is so far from groovy.
God, you're saying all of these things that I just think the exact opposite thing.
Interesting. I see. But again, you're hearing it completely. I mean, assuming you're hearing it different than I am, because you're thinking of the guitar, not all the time. I know obviously you have the capacity to listen to the other things, but like, I think you hear the guitar part differently than I do, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's interesting. Can I tell a story that might take 5 minutes?
Yeah. We're only an hour into this, and we've only got 4 songs to go. 5 songs.
5 songs to go.
And the long one's the next one. I'm excited for that one.
Oh, my God. So, like a month ago, I'm sitting on the couch. I'm playing Master of Puppets.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I'm working on some riffs. I had a reason to do this. Also, like, as everybody that plays metal guitar knows, like, playing especially that song is just a great exercise. That's not even the part that I was working on. I was working on the like pre-chorus part. It's always a little tricky to me. The tabs don't ever quite make sense, but I think I'm starting to get it figured out. So I'm sitting there playing that, and my 3-year-old walks up to me and says, like, I'm not making this up. This is really what happened. This is the truth. She didn't talk like me. She talks like a 3-year-old, but she says, Daddy, what song is that? And I said, it's a song called Master of Puppets by Metallica. And cool. Can you play that on your phone? And I'm like, yeah, I can. So I play it on my phone, and whatever. And then what we had been doing, I kind of told this story poorly now, but what we had been doing at bed, like after we read a book or whatever, we'd listen to this thing, and it's like, it's a little imagination story with like synthesizers in the background that like play 2 notes over and over for like half an hour. They are unbelievably relaxing. And they like, at the beginning, they're like, lay down and get comfortable and take a deep breath, breathe in through your mouth, out through your nose. And like, I almost fall asleep during them all of the time. But anyway, I read a book and I'm like, all right. And we call those things deep breath song. That's not what they're called, but that's what she calls
Sure.
them. I'm like, okay, so it's time for deep breath song. She says, no, I want to listen to Master Puppets. And I'm like, okay. And so I put Master Puppets on. And at first she's like, this isn't Master Puppets, because it wasn't the chorus yet.
Okay.
And I swear to God, it's been a month. We listen to Master of Puppets every night. And so I have spent, and like, she won't let me start with Battery, which I've tried to tell her. I'm like, okay, so the album is also called Master Puppets, and actually Battery is probably the song that I like even more than this, and it's also the best album opener of all time. Like, can we please listen to Battery, and then it goes into Master Puppets for you? Master Puppets. Okay, so we listen to Master Puppets. So I have heard Master Puppets so many freaking times.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes she doesn't make it all the way through Master Puppets, like she falls asleep beforehand. And then The Thing That Should Not Be is next, and Sanitarium is after that. Is that correct?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I know. I should know this because I've listened to it 30 times in the last month. Oh no, wait. Dude, and I also, in my defense, I just don't know the names of...
Right, you've said that before in videos.
Okay, no, yeah, that's right. It's Battery, Master Puppets, Thing That Should Not Be, well, Sanitarium, and then Disposable Heroes. I think maybe once we've got to Leper Messiah.
Okay.
But in one of those songs, I don't even know which freaking one it is. It's on Master Puppets. Like, you hear Lars do that, and like, there have been a couple times where like, I don't think too much about Lars's drumming. Those songs... I like them. They're music to me, kind of, but I've also just heard them so many times.
Sure.
Whatever. But that sticks out to me sometimes. Like, I'll be listening to it. I'm getting to another thing here. I'm like, God, that riff would have been better had it not just been the rock beat the whole time. Like,
I see.
In my mind, it just says lazy. Like, I get it. It works.
Sure.
It's not the worst thing ever, but like, half of it could have been that. And then the other half could have been something where they more played along, where Lars more or less played along with the riff. But I will say this, because I have heard because we always make it to the solo of, we listen to the whole Master of Puppets every time. There's no way she's going to fall asleep faster than that. Listening to that song and I just listened to it through my crappy phone speaker. It's just sitting on a table 5 feet from my head. I think that might be the way you're supposed to listen to that record.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think sonically, I have heard that Master Puppets guitar solo a million times. Like to the point where I barely hear it.
Right.
But listening to it for the last few weeks on a little crappy phone speaker 5 feet from my head, and it's not like loud. I don't have it up all the way.
Sure.
Right. Like, I appreciate that solo so much more.
Interesting.
Like, and like, there's even some other parts of that where like, because of the crappy frequency response of the speaker, like I'm not getting anything below, I don't know, 300 hertz in that thing.
Yeah.
That like, you do hear some other stuff that I think that you don't really pay attention to when you're listening.
Yeah, because it gets a little buried.
Or it's blasting in your car.
Right.
That's another great way to listen to Master Puppets, is really loud in your car.
Yep.
And like, but I hear all this, and I don't know, I've had all of these like big thoughts about that record because I've listened to it a million times.
Well, and anyway. What do I always say? I don't like all the reverb and stuff on it. But
it makes sense on your phone speaker.
I was literally just going to say, I could see that working better to its favor in that case.
About that, I'm like, God, these vocals are like turbo 80s. Like I'm laying next to my kid listening to this, and like I didn't even want her to do this. And to be quite honest, I don't know. In another 2 weeks, I'll be really sick of it.
But anyway, aren't you happy though that she asked to even?
I actually don't care. Like it was cute the first time, and now that it's every time. Like the first time though, I was scared to death because it gets to the slow part of the song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I bet she falls asleep right now but then like, I don't think she's asleep. I can't tell. It's dark. She turned the other way.
Sure.
Whatever. And then I'm like, oh crap, the riff is going to come back in. Like, is she like going to start jumping up and down when this happens?
Yeah.
But like, I'm probably just desensitizing her to like, will she ever be able to find metal that's extreme enough? Will she just like listen to Archspire and fall asleep?
Archspire. Put on some Archspire, Daddy.
I mean, sometimes whatever she likes to listen.
Well, you don't like. She's around you when you practice and stuff all the time, right? So she's exposed to metal all the time. So
kinda, we listen to some in the car, but anyway, I forget what this had to do with.
No, we were talking about Metallica and drumming and whether you're playing along with the guitars or not. And I feel like to me, the interesting part of most interesting thing I said right away, first thing when we listened to that song was the drums were more interesting to me than anything else because they kept changing up. And one of the things I notice is when they're not just which a lot of the times I feel like they're not just playing what the riff is doing, especially when you're doing like blast beats and stuff, unless you're a black metal band and all you're doing is fast picking single notes. No guitar player is doing that, right? So blast beats are a good example of when he's playing blast beats, the guitars aren't probably playing that tempo, so but then when the double kick came in there, the double bass, I feel like it really changed up the feeling of the song. And from me and my perspective, that's the thing I'm perceiving as changing the most throughout the songs.
Okay.
Is the drum parts. Yeah. So, okay. All right. This is the long one, 6:44. We'll see if our prediction comes true that there'll be more acoustic guitars in here. So we'll see. Maybe some piano or maybe some strings, maybe some clean vocals.
There'll be strings.
Okay.
There have to be. There've been strings in half the other songs.
Yeah, there have been. Yeah. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Ooh.
Backwards stuff, hand drums.
I have to say the acoustic guitars on Euthanasia by Megadeth are the worst sounds I've ever heard in my entire life. They're the loudest.
Sound fantastic.
This does. Sorry, I won't go into it, but yeah.
Yes.
Again, continuing that sort of Middle Eastern motif. Maybe it's just the auxiliary percussion that gives me that feeling, but I mean, this is cinematic.
No, the scale thing. Yeah,
yes.
It's very cinematic. He must have had so much fun making these parts. Like, he was sitting alone by himself late at night making this. Like,
I'm sure.
Like,
yeah. Whoa! What is traditional Australian music, right? Or Tasmanian music.
You called it all.
I did. Now, how much of this do we get before it changes over? That much. This is cool, though.
It is. I think the drum sound has changed. I think that the drums have gotten louder since that first song.
I think they did that between the first and second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a sweet riff.
This is awesome. The whole song so far. His vocals are reminding me of a different band, and I'm trying to think of what it is. He's doing the same thing he did on the first track.
I love that sound, though.
Yeah.
It sounds so good.
Yeah. Big chorus, yeah.
Ooh, not lined up.
Nope, the sibilance is there, the transients. Piano in the song. Blung. 2 notes. Oh, it's raunchy. Raunchy. The harsh, his low harsh vocal. Reminds me of their newer singer. He was in a couple other bands before he joined them. The Harp Machine, I think. Anyway, yeah. Their new album, Chris, comes out next week. Their first album in 12 years. It's my favorite metal band of all time for anybody watching. And it sounds like based on the first single they released. Okay. Does the vocalist in this band only perform vocals? It's not also the guitar player, right?
No, just vocals.
That'd be really hard. This is 1,000 times the most accessible thing I've heard on this.
Oh, yeah.
Man, the guitars are so choppy. They're so defined. Not a lot of high frequencies in them, but I'm not missing it. And that kick drum is dry as... just dry.
Wow.
Just like Archspire on the last 2 songs on their album. Come on.
But why is it really go on for? I really thought that was going to go back to the
acoustic guitars.
Acoustic stuff, yeah.
Bummer. Okay, but that was the best. That was my favorite song on the album.
I can, yeah.
Even though the fade out, but like the first minute and a half of that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. You know what's funny too? Do you think those vocals, those female vocal, like choral vocals at the beginning were real vocals? Or do you think that they were some kind of synthetically created thing?
I have no idea.
Because you wouldn't hire someone to do 2 notes like that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it might have been somebody's friend or something.
Or if it was a sample or something, maybe.
Might have been.
But you can also do so much with keyboards and stuff. Actually, we have a electronic video I'm going to do on the channel here pretty soon with the other two guys on the channel. And one of the things that I was doing when researching that was I was trying to find a really good example of a modern composer who does soundtrack and score work for movies that sounds orchestral, but they only use synthetic instruments, right?
Yeah.
And I found a couple of interesting people, because what I was looking for when I was going down this rabbit hole, and I was trying to find like this big concerto or something, this like 30-minute long piece of music that was made that way. You know, like a whole, I'm not saying like a Beethoven concerto or symphony or something done synthetically. I'm saying modern composer who composes classical music that way, and I couldn't find anyone that did it. I was looking through threads. I was looking through everything. I couldn't find any modern composers that do that. I could only find score work and soundtrack work for film and specifically for video games. And I found that interesting, first of all, because I just think that the coolest thing...
That you did found...
I can't believe that there aren't more composers doing music that way. You know what I mean? I'm really surprised at that. I was surprised at that. We don't have to go into that, but like, I thought that was interesting. And so, but one of the things I learned was that you can get very realistic sounding choir stuff, even including words and things now. And it's not necessarily AI. I think you could do it with AI. And I'm not saying that Psycroptic used AI or anything for that, but you can get very realistic sounding any element of an orchestra, but also now it's including choirs. So that was the only reason I bring all of that up to say, because the little bit of choir that was at the beginning of this, it sounded like a bigger thing than just like like a lady friend come into the studio and do a couple of takes. So it sounded like more than that. So I don't know, but maybe it was just that. I don't know, but it was really interesting and fun. That song was interesting. There were clearly at least two sections. Actually, there were three sections. The instrumental part at the beginning, the fast stuff, which was awesome. I thought the riff was interesting, maybe because it was a little bit more simple. And then at the end of it was the blah, 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 blah part. And then the double bass the whole time going with the speed of the riff. I noticed that the whole time pretty much. And then the cool chorus part. Awesome. Loved it. Loved it. Okay, so now I'm guessing this song will be a little bit more straightforward, what we've heard so far. This is actually the song, what do they call it? The title track?
It's not, well...
It kind of is. Annihilation Pulse instead of the Pulse of Annihilation. I don't know, whatever. But okay, this is Annihilation Pulse in 3, 2, 1. Guitars sound totally different.
They do.
Totally different.
The drums are reverbier too, I think.
Yeah.
Or it's splashier.
His voice is clearer. There's more high frequencies in this. Oh my gosh, you know what? I just realized his high-pitched screen reminds me of the guy from Emil Bulls, one of my other favorite metal bands. Huh.
I don't think these drums were recorded in the same way as the other ones were. That snare is completely different.
The cymbals might have been. No, you don't think so? I can't think the guitars sound like a different amp or something completely. This is probably recorded at a different studio. The guitars sound less processed. Like there's less of a gate on it. What the heck?
Letting the bass do some stuff there, that's cool.
Yeah. Do you dislike this?
No.
Okay. I mean, that was awesome. That
was awesome.
This is great.
The drums are like more gated though.
Yeah.
I guess this might be more how I thought that this record would sound.
Yeah.
And I like that the last 5 songs have not sounded like this. It's fine. Like, it doesn't sound bad. But I thought it sounded better before.
After this song, we'll do some A-B comparison and just see. We'll have to do it on our own because you can't hear what I'm hearing, I can't hear what you're hearing, but we'll do it just for like a minute. Go back and forth. Pick a song. Whoa. My goodness.
That's so cool.
The hi-hat's on the right now. Oh, no, now it's not. Well.
That part is sweet.
This is epic.
It is.
This is awesome. It's kind of Necrogoblicon. No?
Okay.
Again, I don't have too many, like, heavy bands to pull from. Not this stuff at all, but that other part with the big chords over the top and his voice a little. Dude, awesome. I think that was even better than this track before it, in my opinion.
I think so. I think that might be my favorite song on there. So
really, I'm surprised we would have the same favorite song. But
that one really like thrashy part. It's just so. And then it went to that cool chorus where Chris music words. I don't know. The bass did a thing, and the
yes, yep. And then that sweet thrashy riff thing in the middle, just
yeah,
that was like the most impressive sounding thing to me. I don't know anything about the technicals, whatever, but that was just like immediately I was like, whoa, this is like other level, you know.
Yeah.
And then the song was awesome, and they repeated the same part, and you could tell obviously because there was layers of things over the top of it. I loved it, loved that, loved it.
Yep, me too.
Let's move on.
Okay.
This is track 7, No Blade of Grass, in 3, 2, 1. Huh. Do the guitars sound different again?
Yeah. I mean, they changed when the vocals came in, but like there was way more like high mid,
yeah,
you know, 3/4K stuff, and then
now they sound similar to what they did the way they did on the track before. I forgot we were going to go back and forth. We'll do it after the whole thing. Dude, his vocals are on a different level these last couple songs.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I mean, this is like black metal-y kind of, right?
Pop beats.
Parts of it, maybe? dude.
They're clean vocals in there. That's cool.
Yeah. Dude, those are badass vocals.
Yeah.
Because they're still screamy, but
There's like 4 different vocal sounds going on in there. It's cool.
we'll pause. Dude, these last 4 songs, or 3 songs, awesome. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, really different than the first 4, right? Like, what the heck?
Yeah, they're very...
Are you looking at song credits or something? Or?
Well, I am. There are 2 guys named Jason that sing in this band, and they are, in fact, different people.
You mean Jason and Joseph?
No, Jason and Jason. Jason...
No, Jason Kaiser and Jason...
Pepiat?
Pepiat?
Pepier?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh.
But he's...
yeah.
Jason Kaiser is credited with singing on all of these songs. So that doesn't surprise me, because I was about to say, God, that's a lot of sound to come out of... I mean, dude's good.
Yeah.
Jason Pepiat.
So do you think that they've got the high screaming vocalist and then the low guy's another guy?
I think... Well, because at least on Wikipedia, it says live members. That since 2023, this Jason Kaiser has been singing with them.
Interesting.
Both times I saw them, they only had 1 vocalist.
That's very interesting. I love that. But I don't know, though, because there've been a couple times where it's been, if you have 2 vocalists, why wouldn't you do more back and forth stuff? And why wouldn't you do more like 2-part things? You know what I mean? Like where they're both doing like, it hasn't sounded like 2 vocalists. To me, the parts have not been created in such a way that it sounds like 2 vocalists.
No, and I'm sure that they're doing it live just to
keep it accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, just to make it, because I mean, a lot of vocal production going on this whole thing. There is very little one track.
You can buy the cassette of this.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Do you want to know how much it costs? Do you want to guess?
$27.
25 Australian dollars.
That's...
Hey, Google, convert 25 Australian dollars to US dollars.
25 Australian dollars is approximately 17 United States dollars and 54 cents.
$17. That's not bad, I guess, for a cassette. Well, for cassette, it is bad. Never mind. Sorry, that doesn't matter. Do you want to just keep going? Because we're on a roll with these last couple songs.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, this is To Embrace the Curse. This is the penultimate song on the album. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah, the drums feel more reverby kind of and more roomy, less dry. Sounds like a different record.
Yeah.
I can't hear the bass in there at all anymore.
No, like there's no low frequency.
The bass is gone. That was pretty sweet, though. I feel like this one's a little less entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Guitars feel almost a little louder on this one. I don't know.
A little thinner.
You can hear the bass plunking every now and then. But you're right, there's a lot of low frequencies that I feel like are missing from this one.
Yeah.
That's a cool part. Broken down and undefeated, something about the King of Darkness. We'll pause. Okay, so I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? You just look confused. Are you looking something up?
No, I don't know.
Are we just getting tired, maybe?
Well, that a little bit too, but I don't know. It's why does some of this stuff sound so different? I get that on the Annihilation Pulse song.
Yeah.
That was intentional and probably a good decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason that the guitars sounded white noisier, pokier, more distorted in that song.
Yeah.
I think that was just because of that thrash part. That was
okay.
Like, do you have to do it like that? No, but I think that had a lot to do with that because that's the right guitar sound for that part that was in that song.
Yes. Do you just think that from 5 on, they've recorded this at a different studio at a different time?
No, because they don't sound the same.
Well, but I think these last 4 songs sound like you could group those together, and then the first 4 tracks could be grouped together.
Was that artistic intent?
I wonder. I don't know.
Because of the long song with the acoustic crap in the beginning and the fade out?
Maybe.
In the middle, are they supposed to be, is it a first half, a middle bit, and then a second half?
Maybe.
But that one, I would argue
that one did sound different, though.
Going on in the low frequencies was just not correct.
Yeah, they did sound, for some reason, like something weird happened
but
there.
On its own, if you just listen to it, I mean, I don't think I would have thought that sounded bad.
Yeah.
It just...
Now, I will say, on Spotify, that song has the least amount of plays by quite a bit. Which it's funny because after track we got 70,000, 130,000, 40,000 for A Sword of Me. And then track 4 is 37,000. Then track 5 is 37,000. So these are all people listening to it since it came out, I'm guessing. Track 6 is slightly less, 33,000. So people are dropping off. Then we have the single, which is the second single. So that's 80,000. But then you have 26,000. Then you have 29,000. So the last track has more listens than the penultimate one. So I'm going to guess that there's something a little more to that one. I feel like personally, I didn't care for track 8, the one we just listened to, as much as the 4 before it. But I do still think it fit into those group of songs more so than the first 4, though, my opinion. So, okay, so we talk about here on the channel this year, we've been really focusing on final song vibes. Does the last track have final song vibes? So I'm going to guess on this album, just like on the Archspire. Actually, I think the 2 worst songs on the Archspire album are the last 2. Now, there's only 8 songs on that album, I believe. So 6 out of the 2 of the 8 were kind of disappointing in that they both faded out, and then the last 2 songs on that album didn't have any part in the middle to break it up. So they're just balls to the wall the entire time. I don't think on this album we're going to get anything crazy. I think that the track 5 was the craziest thing on this album in terms of like having a big long minute-and-a-half long acoustic intro. So I don't know if we're going to get that here. But what I talk about all the time is I want every album to have a final song that has final song vibes. I want there to be a reason that they chose this song to be the final song on this album. And it doesn't have to be that it's an acoustic ballad or anything like that. I just want there to be a reason. Maybe it has a really sweet ending. Maybe, whatever. I don't necessarily want it to be because the meaning of the lyrics or something is that it's there like literally saying goodbye or something like that. I don't want that. But I want to see. So we'll just see. Let's listen to it. You ready?
Yep.
This is Forging the Crown in 3, 2, 1.
Not been any like synthy stuff like that.
Okay, we are getting the acoustic stuff.
Freddie gets acoustic guitars back.
Maybe we'll get more of those female vocals. And then they didn't hire her for just 1 or 2 notes. That guitar in the middle is awesome. Sounds like a music box or something almost. Ooh, a fading in. Let's go. Oh! Yo, this is awesome.
It is.
Whoa, abrupt shift there. That was cool in the back there somewhere. This is badass, this part.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they are flying.
And these drums sound like they do on the first half of the record.
I think so. Yes, and the guitars too.
Yeah.
You're right. The guitars are just less noisy, you know? I love this like a I think it's in a guitar part, but
I think so too.
it's just what's standing out in that
It sounds so synthy.
Yeah.
It makes me think as a thing at the beginning, actually guitar just sounds like a synthesizer.
No, I think that was clearly a synth with like some oscillating stuff on it. Boy, we're in flames all of a sudden here. Okay. Dude, the guitar player needs a cigarette after this. Wow. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I didn't see that coming. They... You know what? That's cool. I'll let that slide.
It was.
That's cool.
It was not. Oh, now Tidal wants to play Devil Driver for me. I didn't love that last transition.
It was clunky. It was kind of clunky.
It was a little clunky.
It
but
felt
it was
like
cool. I'm glad they came back to it.
Yeah, it kind of felt like the guy, he was like, okay, we ended the song differently, but I didn't care for that as much, so I'll just chop it off and copy and paste some stuff from over here and do some different stuff and then fade it out into the thing, which is fine. But that was still an interesting song. That was the only part on the whole album where we really got that, like, with the guitars just shredding the entire, just flying the whole song.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, kind of interesting now to think about the album as a whole. Okay, so I don't think we need to do the comparisons like I was going to anymore, because that went back to the production style of the first 4 songs.
Well, and I mean, this isn't like some big budget thing.
For sure.
And if
it sounds fantastic though,
is
overall.
it does sound fantastic. But I would guess that there's probably not like a huge team having anything to do with this. I mean, I don't think that there's a record label.
Well, no, I saw Metal Blade.
Oh, okay.
It's Metal Blade Records.
I knew that they were on Metal Blade.
Now,
okay.
Now maybe they're just doing distribution for them. It's possible. I don't know. But that doesn't really matter. But yeah, it just says Source Metal Blade Records. So
whatever it is. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting confused about things.
Do you want me to? Okay, I'll do my overall thoughts, I guess, first.
Yes, go.
And then I want you to compare this to other Psycroptic that you know as well. So think about that. So for me, kind of like I was saying before, I do not feel like this is as interesting as Archspire. Now, maybe that's not a fair comparison, but in terms of everything we talked about at the beginning, I don't know very many styles of music like this. And if for those of you who are new here and you're just watching this because you like this, or you watched the Archspire video and somehow this found its way into your algorithms, I generally don't listen to metal that doesn't have some clean vocals in it. I would say probably 90% of the metal that I listen to has some form of clean vocals in it. And that's... I think the main reason for that comes down to when you have different styles of vocals like that in your music, it's much easier to separate the sections of your songs. And And so I prefer that kind of a thing. If it's just the same style of vocals throughout an entire song, then throughout an entire album, it's the same style of vocals the entire time, like it was here on this entire album, I feel like it's harder for me to grasp onto it. And the vocals are not necessarily the most important thing in the music to me. However, I have to have vocals in there. And like I've said now multiple times, I feel like it's easier to differentiate the parts of the songs based on what the vocals are doing more so than everything else. So for me, when I think back on this album, I will think it was fast. I'll think it sounded pretty good, but vocally it wasn't that interesting to me. And the rest of the music wasn't engaging enough to draw me in. But the second half of the album, I feel much more interesting than the first half. I liked track 5. So tracks 5, 6, 7, and 8, actually 5, 6, 7, and 9, I would say are my favorites for sure. I think track 2 was interesting with some vocal stuff that they did there. But I think
they did it more later.
Yeah, they did. I think the vocals were just straight up more interesting and better written and performed on the second half of the album. Maybe they wrote this originally as 2 EPs or something, and they were going to release it as an EP, and then they decided not to for whatever reason. And then, or who knows? I mean, it could have been anything. Who knows? But again, and we've encountered another album here where feels like this has been happening a lot recently, where it almost seems like this dichotomy between these two halves of what the album is doing. We definitely encountered that with Paul McCartney's new album from this year, and there's no reasoning for that. So that's crazy that happened there. Well, I mean, it makes sense if you recorded at different places, different times, different years, whatever can be. When was this band's last album? Was it just 2 years ago?
Like 4 years ago, 2022.
2022. Okay, so in the ensuing years, maybe they started working on another album and then for whatever reason gave up on it. And so then we have the remnants of that plus 4 or 5 new songs that they really wrote for this to be this album. You know what I mean?
It could be something like
It could be something super simple like that. But for me, stylistically, I don't feel like this is as interesting as the other metal that I listen to. And for me personally, like I like solos, so I would have really liked having solos over the top of some of this stuff, especially because this guitar player is so great. It would have been fun to hear him trying to do some solos. But the riffs are complicated enough that there were I feel like the guitars were doing more interesting things the second half of the album. I guess I just definitely like the second half of this album more. But it's interesting that they chose track 2 then to be the single or whatever that they led with. So I don't know. What overall, I guess, would I say I liked this? I liked it. I didn't hate it, but I wouldn't listen to this again for like pleasure listening. Whereas I have done that multiple times with the Archspire album. So I guess that says what all I need. This will not be on my top 12 albums of the year at the end of the year. So, okay, Chris, being the Psycroptic fan, what are your thoughts of this?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it again. I'll definitely listen to Annihilation Pulse again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I like tracks 5 through 9 better than I liked 1 through 4.
Okay.
I think in general, isn't that what you said?
Yes, I did. Yep.
I think that that's fair. I mean, the sound changing was a little bit weird, but I'm not gonna track 8 was not.
Right, that's what I said. I think honestly for me, tracks 5, 6, 7, 9, and 2 are my favorites. Maybe even in that order. Though I really think 9 was really cool. If it would have just faded out, I would have been so pissed. But because there was because it faded in like the way it did, and then faded out the way it did, they're doing a lot of circle theory stuff on this album here.
I guess okay. Yeah.
Which I did mention earlier on in the album, where I feel like some of the way the song started, it felt like they finished in the reverse order of how things the song started, which is the circle theory stuff, ring theory, which I think is super fascinating and interesting, especially in music, because I feel like it's a little less present in music than it is in writing and stuff. But I like that aspect of it. I thought that was an interesting thing that I could at least sink my teeth into a little bit, and little, basic Bob me could recognize that kind of stuff. So how do you feel about this compared to other Psycroptic albums?
I liked it. I think that there was a few things that stuck out to me quite a bit that I will go back and listen to.
Okay.
There really is a Psycroptic thing. I mentioned it earlier in the video about, it was on song 2. No, song 1. It was like the first riff of song 1. Like, I just like that thing.
Sure.
And maybe it gets a little bit samey sometimes, that there's just like a lot of that. But I like it. And I guess thinking about it, I guess that like there's Psycroptic riffs that I kind of get stuck in my head sometimes.
Okay, interesting.
But I don't know.
Okay. That's all right. I mean, they don't have to be your favorite band,
No. It's different than, it is. It's different than for some of the reasons that I like to listen to other stuff. And it is kind of punishing, like, totally the whole time. And the changes are more subtle, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
And even though it is so intense, and there are parts where there is like really crazy stuff going on, it is like, because of that, it is like something that you can have on in the background.
Yeah.
And you can kind of come in and out at the same time. I kind of do wish there were more choruses. I thought that the couple choruses that they had on there, I thought were really good.
Yeah.
Why not more of that?
I will say one thing I think is interesting is I like the harsh. If you could take the vocalist and pluck him out of this band and put him in a different band, what I was going to say was, I think if this vocalist was in any of the other bands that I enjoy, and he was like the harsh vocalist, he did the harsh vocals, I think I really like his harsh vocals. Yeah. Like, now, whether it's the one guy or the other guy, or they're both of them or whatever, I like what they are doing on here. And I actually enjoy like the timbre or whatever of his voice. I enjoy the way he sounds, and I think it matches the intensity of the music. And if you took him and inserted him into some of the other bands that I like a lot, it would make those bands feel heavier. But I wouldn't say that you should include clean vocals in this band, because that would be maybe too weird. You know what I mean? That was my initial thing, was like, oh man, if this guy sang for a band that had clean vocals, I'd really like it a lot, because I like his harsh vocals. But I didn't want to say that because that would be weird. So taking him and plucking him out and putting him in a band that has harsh vocals, I think would work really cool. Because I liked the way his voice sounded. I enjoyed that. So yeah. Now, before we end this video, Chris, let's go to their very first album and just listen to like at least part of one song from their first album, just to have some fun.
I don't think I go... I think the earliest thing that I have, the Scepter of the Ancients.
Oh, that's from 2003. So you don't have the Isle of Disenchantment?
Oh, but mine says 2014.
Oh, that must be a remastering or whatever.
Oh, or a
re-release or something. But the Isle of Disenchantment is their album from 2009, according to Spotify.
Wait, 2000.
I'm sorry, 2000. Isle of Disenchantment. Okay, so you've got, I'm assuming the first song is Carnival of Vulgarity.
Yeah.
You want to try it? Or do you want to try sort of... Let's go to track 2. I feel like track 2 is always a better example of what an album is. The Sword of Uncreation.
Okay.
Okay, let's listen to it. In 3, 2, 1. Wow.
Compared to what we just listened to, I really did not think it was going to be that bad. God, you wanted high frequency in the guitars.
is a different genre of music.
I mean,
Dude.
I don't hate what it is, but it is a completely different band.
So they're pretty fast, even, second album, or first album.
It's very fast.
Oh my god, the vocals are awful. He sounds like he's taking a poop. Okay, what were you gonna say about the guitars?
The guitar tone is awful.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, the one in the right is just absolutely abysmal. But they're playing great.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't even think the vocals, like, they're not good.
No,
but they could have been just mixed better and it would have been okay.
Yeah, you could do stuff to this, for sure, to make it better.
Oh, and okay, so David Haley is the drummer in this band, and there's only composer, lyricist, songwriter credits on this one, but it's all him.
There's a song on this album called Psycroptic. Let's go to that one.
That.
It's
Okay.
6:02. Let's go to that one. Okay, Psycroptic in 3, 2, 1. There's a bass. When I hear this,
it's not the right sound, but it's a good sounding, like,
yeah,
like that's properly recorded and played. And
Yo,
it's
yeah,
in
yeah.
tune. What the is this guitar tone?
fuzz.
The drums don't sound bad. The cymbals are not great, but
I mean, the vocals are Death Clock.
bad.
Yes, but bad.
But like again, like if it was recorded and produced better, I think this could have been okay. Like if this was really like the first record they ever put out, like pretty good.
And right, and maybe they were younger. I mean, I don't know how old these dudes are,
They
but
had
like,
to been 25 years younger. You would say.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, okay, that's enough. I'm pausing it. Well, that was fun.
That was fun. That was interesting.
Hopefully that record's not like owned by some record label or some baloney. That says Psychro Records. So they must have self-released that one.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for them for doing that. Pretty badass album cover too.
Is it?
It looks like an In Flames album cover.
I guess it. When
But-
did they? I think it was this one. It was on Nuclear. Wait. Oh, they're on Metal Blade now,
Yes.
and they released a couple records through Nuclear Blast.
Nuclear Blast.
The first two records were on self-released, which I guess makes sense, and then Nuclear Blast. Can't say nuclear. I'm like W.
At least you're not
then
saying nuclear.
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 Nuclear. I don't know how to say the word. Prosthetic. Wow,
Prosthetic records, yeah.
They've been everywhere.
Well, that's cool. You know, whatever.
Prosthetic, and then probably Metal Blade. No, prosthetic, and then this.
And then this one is
Blade.
Metal Blade. Okay, interesting.
Huh. Well, good for those guys.
Yeah, great for them. So awesome. Yeah, sweet. One last thing before we end the video, just because I saw the other day. Have you ever heard of a band called Eye of the Enemy? Okay, they're like one of those like kind of random European metal bands, but I was listening to their album yesterday, and I was like, I think this is something Chris would like. So jot it down, look them up. Eye of the Enemy. Their debut album was the one I was listening to. They only have 3 albums. It's from 2014. It's called The Vengeance Paradox. Look it up, give them a listen. I think you'll like it. I didn't hear any clean vocals on it at all or anything. Not that that matters, but I think you'll like it. It's the style of lead guitars that you enjoy. So,
Okay.
so, and then for everybody else also watching, check them out. Don't know how, I don't think they're very big, but let's see how many followers they have. Oh, 135,000. So, okay, more than this. Their last album came out in 2019, so they could still be banned. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Thank you, everybody, for watching the video. Let us know what we should listen to that's extreme like this. That is, you know, should we do some cattle decapitation? We got a bunch of people asking for that in the Archspire.
I think you would like that, Patrick.
I might. I actually was looking at them the other day, and I listened to a couple like 10-second samples of stuff, and I was like, this doesn't sound at all like I thought cattle decapitation would sound. So that's actually kind of cool. So I would be willing to do that 100%. So, but Chris, with you, I really want to go back and start doing some more of the classic thrash stuff. So on the channel here, I want you to do like Testament with me. I want you to do. You can pick anything you want. And I want to do that one album that sounds so great from that band. What was it? It wasn't Converge. I always think it starts with a C. I know it does. You like them, though. Okay, let me look here. I'm going to just go through and name some of these. You tell me if you've heard them. Disaster, Power Trip, Insider,
Power Trip,
Fueled by Fire, Toxic Death, Anticosm, Fog of War, Traitor, Party Vibes. Wow, with a Z. What the hell is that? Legends of Narlia is the name of their album.
That sounds awesome.
Hold on, I gotta click a link. What is this? Whoa, that is old school thrash sound. You would like that. Party Vibes, Vibez. Look that up. Okay. Hold on.
Okay, Party Vibes is probably gonna have to be something I listen to.
Okay, good. If nothing else, then this worked for this. What am I? Carcass.
Oh, Carcass. Yeah,
I think that's yes. Their album from 20 Surgical Steel. I think from 2013.
Yeah. Surgical Steel. I don't think you're gonna like it.
Unless that's not the one I'm thinking
But
of.
it's great.
Yeah, they have a new album,
that is
though.
who you're talking about.
They have an album called Torn Arteries. Oh, no, that's the one that goes back in time where it's like... Oh, no. It might be Torn Arteries.
Oh, Torn Arteries.
It's Torn Arteries.
No, Carcass is great.
This album sounds so awesome. Yeah, it's Torn Arteries from 2021. Okay. Anyway, wow, that was a waste of time. Thanks for watching this video. We will see you next time.